Welcome to this Friday. I need to do a Terminator today. We've got some lots of rounds for you. 20 seconds quick burst today. And we're ditching the kettlebells. And all you need is a set of dumbbells, some of them fill that weight, nothing too heavy. A lot of calisthenic body weight stuff in there as well. Okay, one in the air, and a feet in the air. Okay, obviously you've got the internet working, that's good. Right, okay. So, let's get warmed up then, and I'll take you through the details of exactly what we're doing. Great finisher today as well. Right, okay. So we got this one there, nice to move. Batter, 20 seconds, as many reps as you can, full tilt, okay, then 10 seconds recover, then in again, that's what Tabata is. Okay, we're going to do a descending set Tabata today. So we're going to do 3 exercises, okay, and you end up doing 10 of each, but we're doing them in a descent. So we're going to do 4 sets of each of those 3. Then straight back to the start, 3 sets. Each of those 3. Straight back to the start, 2 sets of each of those 3. Straight back to the start, 1 set of each of those 3. So 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way through, go. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest without any extra rest from that. So you do end up doing those 10 of each, all back to back. Now a little breather, and we'll do the same again with another 3 exercises, okay? That's the idea. So I need to tell you your 3. Morning. Hope you're joining in. You can do this with just your body weight, or if you've got 2 light hand weights, you can do that too. Right, so here's your 3. Number 1 and 2 are purely calisthenics, just body weight, okay? So you're doing surrenders to a tuck jump or a jack, whichever's easiest for you, okay? Well, not whichever's easiest, whichever's more manageable. If you've got any knee issues, you want to do the jack. Okay, so these tuck jumps are quite harsh. Hands behind the head here. Okay, or just out the way at least. What we don't want is this. Okay, so just out the way, up here. Okay, onto that foot, and then tuck jump. Back down. Same lead legs, I'm leading with my right heel, up, jump, tuck jump, right heel down, right knee down. Okay. Those first few feel a bit tough, particularly if you've done some of those classes earlier on in the week, your legs are going to be feeling it. Okay, just 20 seconds, it's not many. 10 seconds, recover, get your breath in, and then you're going to go same again. If you can remember which lead leg you did, switch your lead leg each round. It won't make a massive difference, but it's just good to get that equality over the body. So, 4 sets of that, then we'll move straight on to. Now you've got the choice again here. Now this is a tough to do it, the hardest version of this. ISO press jack. So you're going to come into that press up, hold it for the nose of inch off the floor. So you've really got to tuck the elbows down and engage the lats, and I'm always talking about. Okay, so there, hold, and then in and out with the feet. Okay, while you're holding it. Okay, so that's extremely tough. You can have a go at that. Once that gets too tiring, you can just do a prone jack. So basically the same movement, but arms extended. Same thing though, okay? So see if you can do a few of those, and if not, revert to your prone jacks, okay? And then exercise 3, you're going to do some boat strikes. It's a bit shouldery this. So your movement position, you grab your dumbbells. Okay, just do some little loaded strikes, just over the knees, back to there. Okay, just from the shoulder, strikes above the knees. You just got that little twist and rotation. Okay, so your core's just working that little bit. Okay, and then we're back to the start. So you've got quite a heavy leg exercise for number one, a really tough upper body one for number two, and then a good core one for number three. So we go bottom, top, middle. Alright, okay, so it's 30 sets back to back here. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Let me just set that timer there. And we're good to go.
Check it.
Okay. Right, 30 sets then. So starting with the surrenders. Surrenders to tuck jump, okay? Right, everybody? Round one, 4 sets of each before we move on. Exercise one, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
What's rock and roll? I've been told the can't be sold. It's not vicious or malicious, just as all be delicious. I couldn't dance for another. I couldn't dance for another. I couldn't dance for another.
Get too much music, just your hands flying my way. Come on! Here! Shoulders. Right, one more set. Then we're back to the start for 3 sets. Ready? Right, go! and rest. Well done. We've got one more then now. 3 new exercises. And then the finish up. Which is rise the machines.
Really low.
Okay. Always something I remember. Holding those iso press ups. Very tough. If you manage any though, well done. Even one set is hard. But they get you very good at doing press ups because you really have to lock yourself in. Like putting your elbows down and then like into the rib cage. That's the secret to those, and it is equally the secret to a good press up. So by doing those iso holds, you should improve your press up a lot. I always see it when people stick to these classes and they've done about 1, 2, maybe 3 cycles of them. You're talking a long time, that's 3 quarters of a year. Usually by then, people's press ups are pretty much transformed. Right, anyway, here's your next 3. We've got low clap burpee, renegade row squat thrust. I didn't have any burpees in the day, so you know.
Red low chest, yeah.
That's okay.
100.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about play 4. Yes. Low clap burpee. So down, clap at the bottom and up. So that clap at the bottom ensures, obviously, again, unless you're magic, you're going to be going chest to floor. And also it's great for thoracic and shoulder mobility because it makes you raise the muscles and engage the little back muscles. So even if it takes you a bit longer, stick with it, cobra press yourself out. Fine. Okay? Number 2, pulling up, if you've got slightly heavy dumbbells, this will probably be the one you want to use. So on your dumbbells, yeah, squat thrust, row. To the waist, not to here. There. Yeah? Then squat thrust to the other side. Here. Now remember, squat thrust is this, not this. Okay, now with your hands on your dumbbells, it will give you that extra height, and it should actually make it a bit easier to get the squat thrust correct. Okay? And then your third exercise, jack press, simple enough, but on repeat, it takes its toll. Just get the timing right. Dumbbells at your shoulders, elbows forward a bit. Okay, you need to press and jack at the same time. God. Having fun then, Lydia? Okay. That. Okay, the last one. As you go out, they go up. As you go in, they go down, okay? Get that time. You almost relax your arms, okay? It's like just some power from the bottom. Transfers up. Right, there we go, rest up. Here we go.
Right. You've got 5 in there. So it was very
Right, low clap burpee. Come on, 20 seconds. As many as you can. Back up, left to the floor. So, if in the middle, like a lot of people, you might just want to do it on the floor, honestly. Okay? You might not even need a a step. Trust me, it's hard enough. So you hold on the bow, you come up, you walk back, lunge that side, walk back. Okay? Honestly, the step is hardly necessary. Okay, right. Yeah, that's more like it. You're not a bit ambitious there, Jay. Okay. Now, set them up low wall hips, remember, right? Okay, so 30 seconds on each. Let me just check I've got the sets right. I think it's 9. I just need to double check.
Thought it was 8.
No, 6. Yeah, 9.
Yeah. And then back back.
Go.
That's back, isn't it? Legs back, that's for you.
So, yeah, 9 is. There with me. We'll have the tracks.
Put your glasses on, Dave.
To,
Put your glasses on. It's about 8.
Alpha.
I think it's
Right,
6.
okay.
It's when you find out. 6.
Right then. So, plank to start. Ready? 3, 2, 1. through it with all that. Well done everyone else, see you tomorrow. I think it's the wheel part 3 tomorrow, lots of floor involvement. That's 9 AM. We've got total mobility though.